Got most of the horseshoe pit stuff finished, so yeah, I feel better. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I was going through, because I told Dad, I said, when I did them first, like I did the first horseshoe pit on the south end where it's in the lawn and the dirt is not hard, and it took me like 2 hours, and then the other one took like 2 days. And so I remembered that, but everything after I excavated and dug everything up, the rain came and loosened up all the dirt where I dug and everything and loosened up the ground. And so when I finished it off and threw all the rest of the stuff around, it was really pretty easy. Everything else dug up real easy, and the shovel went through it real light, and I could move most stuff around with my feet. So it didn't take nearly as long as that 2 days on that south pit that I did when I first did it, digging it up and getting all the rocks and this concrete, and well, it felt like concrete, but yeah. So it it was like, yeah, that one was 2 hours, that one was 2 days, and then the rest of it, the follow up wasn't too bad. But I think a lot of the rain after I moved everything away for the 2 years or so that I've been working on it had a lot to do with loosening it up and get it going. So it's rounding out. I just gotta take tear all the concrete from the tubing over there that was broken up, that I broke up a sledgehammer, and just move it around into different places. But everything else is pretty much where I want it and how I want it to go. And then I'll just move the earth around and even it out, and so it'll work. And there's a lot of took all the concrete pile over there and laid it out along the house where all the tall weeds and everything grow over those, and so that'll keep cutting the weeds down to a minimum and stuff. And so that'll work. That'll work. And then it'll make it easy. You just go through if I'll lay down all that stuff on places where the weeds will go in real thick, and then we'll just go through with weed eater and then spray it down with the hose, and it'll be good to go. I got a couple of sandbags that are broken open over on the barn, and I'll pour them into each horseshoe pit to help supplement the sand in there. And yeah, it'll work. That'll work, pig. I tried throwing the ones from 37 feet, but it made my rotator cuff hurt. Getting them there, I was like, God, that makes my arm hurt. It's just not fun. It's not comfortable. Maybe 20 years ago, yeah, it would have been okay. But now it's 60, and it's just not comfortable. But that was the way shooting baskets was too. Yesterday when I was shooting those 20-footers, it wasn't too bad. But before, when I first started shooting, it kind of hurt. Get my shoulders up like that, and it's still a little sore, like, a John McCain torture and shit. But, I know I shouldn't just compare John McCain's torture to me. I've been tortured way more insidiously over tens of thousands of years than someone like him. Yeah, and I'm innocent and kind and protecting and truthful and honest and brave and, and he would go to West Point like George Armstrong Custer and get all excited about dropping napalms on kids. So yeah, it's not fair to compare. Don't compare. Remember Judy Krishnamurti, tell your teacher, don't compare. You shouldn't compare yourself to others. It will always leave you bitter and vain, for there'll always be lesser and greater people than yourself, right? And so you don't want to be vain. It's, well, why do I get treated like shit when I'm such a good person? He gets to have a wife, and that did make me upset at first. It was like, that's no fair. These people are all cowardly and shitty, and they get to have a wife and raise their kids. And Earl, I know, Pascal, bumping uglies for money in hell, and we're not living the Lord's Prayer. And if somebody doesn't stand for the Lord's Prayer, we'll never get to have holy covenants and love our wives. And one day they died, and their graves were separate. So I get it. Yeah, I love you too, Marianne. I love you too, Michelle. So, man's got to do what a man's got to do. I've been watching you, watching me. Mr. Bachelor, you owe me. Should have said no when you met me. Should have said so when you met me. I like that song. The real Chucky Boo. Yeah, should have said no when you met me. Yeah. Well, they were one of my favorite bands. And they became one of my favorite bands before they wrote the real Chucky Boo. Right. So it's entirely tangible that I might have had something to do with that album, I knew who U2 was, but I didn't get them but yeah, past, present, future operate at the same time. Yeah, that's true. Okay, see the thorns. Yeah, and I really like that album too. So you might have had. I never really thought about that. I'm not an egomaniac. It just doesn't occur to me. It's, these people talk to and pray to the Spirit of Jesus, and I happen to be the line of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John. Yeah, I get that. I definitely understood that with what's going on for Marvin Gaye, and lots of other works of artistic expression that I was particularly fond of. And Jesus always tells me, Earl, if I don't know who they are, if you don't know who they are, I don't know who they are. And I try to explain to the people, like, well, you're an egomaniac. You think Jesus knows everything. Hey, Jesus is having a lot of fun watching those little girls get raped to death in Mexico and then killed during the COVID because no one would pay money to have sex with them. And he enjoys that the best. Yeah, him and Jeffrey Epstein winking at each other. Assholes. It says in the Bible. The Mormons teach it too. The Lord is not present. Okay? When you do those horrible things, the Lord is not present. And the victims know that we're not living the Lord's Prayer. We're not living the ways of Earl Parsons. I'm being raped to death by perverts and cowards because the Lord is kept from me. I'm not living his truth. I'm not living his courage. I'm not living his kindness. I was watching some of Justice League from 2006 with the android and Lex Luthor and Atom, and nanotechnologies and shit. Should have said no when you met me. Should have said so when you met me. Should have said no when you met me. Mr. Bachelor, you know you owe me. You owe me. You owe me. Yeah. I'm the one that you most should fear. I wouldn't piss Jane Eugene off. No, I'm just kidding around. Earl. Yeah, you don't want to piss off a woman. It's not a good idea. If you ain't getting along, just leave. Yeah, just get up and go. And don't go back. And then she'll ask Barry White to write a song for her. He gave the reasons he should go. And he said things he never said before. And he was mad, oh so mad. And I don't think he's coming back. She did too much dogging, wasted too much time. Now she's there and crying. She's been all around the world and she can't find her baby. She knows exactly why he went away. He told her. I ain't putting up with this shit no more. I didn't do nothing wrong to you. I honored all my promises to you. You didn't honor one promise to me. I ain't never cheated on you. I ain't never lied to you. I was always there for you. I always loved you. I did everything I could to keep you safe, keep you healthy, and keep you feeling that you had, I did my best to keep her satisfied, keep her coming every night. It's all hard. Yeah, this love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before. My kids really like that one. I think Driving Slow on Sunday Morning is my favorite. She Will Be Loved. Yeah, it's all right, but I think I like Driving Slow on Sunday Morning. I do like Hard to Breathe. And what's the other one? Shiver. Yeah, that's a good one too. Shiver when you call your name. I don't have those. I should put those on the MP3. Yeah, I probably should. Songs about Jane. Yeah, I probably will. I don't know. I'll think about it. I might write it down. Yeah. But my thing was that's not a regret because you can't really have regrets. But I didn't think about it. I should have let Melissa go with Amy to the Maroon 5 John Mayer concert. Amy wanted me to go, and I went. But Melissa's like, you got tickets to John Mayer and Maroon 5. I should have said, well, you go. Amy, you should take Melissa. I think you and Melissa would have the greatest time. You guys would love it. You guys should go. I probably should have. I had a pretty good time. I had a good time when Amy took me to the Commodores and the Beatles. The shitty Beatles. Yeah, the shitty Beatles. No, the Beatles cover band. Yeah. I keep thinking I can't remember what songs they sang. Oh, me and the two Mexican guys in the back, we knew every word to every Commodore song they sung. Mr. Taxi Driver, won't you give us... But Lionel wasn't there. Walter was there, and the rest of the guys were there. Which my favorite. I like the guitar and the bass. Yeah, I like the band. I like the guys, but all the originals were there, which I like all those guys. So I like Lionel too, but the other guys, they're my Mississippi brothers. Sail on down the line about a half a mile or so, just to be close to you. Wow, just for the moment, baby. Wow, just for an hour. Why don't you take my hand? Girl, we'll live our lives together, together. Walter, right? Walter Orange, I believe it is. He's the one who sings Brick House and does, he splits the vocals with Lionel on Just to Be Close to You. And that's one of my favorites. Why don't you take my hand? We'll live our lives together, 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 girl, together, you and me together, just to be close to you. What else is Wonderland's the shit? That's one of my favorites. You could tell he had contributions and encouragement and whatever from the guys in the band. Patrick's favorite is doom doom boom, no singing or whatever. Machine Gun. That's his favorite. Patrick loves Machine Gun. I don't know if I have that. I haven't heard that in a good month of Sundays and Guitar Go. I may not have that on the MP3. Choom choom boom boom boom. Yeah, Patrick loves instrumentals. He loves it. You know, he's spiritually connected to Uncle Gil and his cousin Uncle. Well, it's his uncle. Yeah, Uncle Will and Uncle Gil, great Uncle Gil and Uncle Will. Patrick likes jazz. Patrick loves jazz. Oh yeah. He likes instrumental music too, because he was particularly fun when he liked that goofy ass he got it. It was funny, but that episode of Freakazoid when they did the censoring with the picture of the meadow and the theme to A Summer Place. So this is great. It's funny. The sitar is he's cracking up. But he also, what is that? And I had to tell him that's Percy Faith and his orchestra from the Johnny Mathis Christmas album stuff. That's themed to A Summer Place. Boom, 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 da, na, 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 na. Yeah, it's gorgeous. It is. When he's listening, that's wonderful music. It is. It's one of my favorites when I was a kid. With Classical Gas from Mason Williams. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, bum, 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 bum. He's from Oklahoma. Yeah, I saw the little girl and the little guy talk about all the people from Oklahoma that they did songs on. So they did Garth and Mason Williams from Oklahoma. I was like, I did not know that. Yeah, he's a good guitar player. He is. Yeah. Boom, doo, doo, boom, boom, boom. And I'm certain that Head Cracker Suite is based off of that tune. Because it has a it has a similar melody and a similar transition, and stuff as Classical Gas, which is why it's one of my favorite Sam Spence tunes. It's good. Yeah, it's a good tune. Ramblin' Man from Gamblin', yeah, and Roundup. I think Head Cracker Suite and Ramblin' Man from Gambling are my two favorites because Ramblin' Man from Gambling is very jazzy. Yeah, so I like the jazz. And Roundup's a little bit more which is all right. And Head Cracker Suite has that sound to it and that melody that flows a lot like Classical Gas. So those are why they're my two favorites of Sam Spence tones. Anybody else like Sam Spence? He puts like a jazz ensemble together to put with football. Basketball, all you got to do is just put on good jazz and then watch basketball, and you see the best players go really well with the jazz. Mm-hmm. Some people yesterday in the barn were asking me, it was kind of like a cross between Derrick Rose and Allen Iverson. A lot of people, he's like Jay Will. That's just because Jay Will was white. But the people, the people I played more like was across, I was probably a little bit more, I could be more explosive and faster than both of them. But that's what my game was more like. A lot of the moves that Iverson did, I did. My hitch hop dribble where I put it between the leg and flip it back and go right again, because I like that one guy they were talking about the other night for the Trailblazers. Like 75% of the time he's gonna go right. Okay, he'll make you foul. He'll make you foul him if if you stop and go right. He's gonna blow right by you right. He'll go left if he has to if you're really good, but he's still gonna finish with the right hand, and you're still gonna foul him. Typically, what happens, yeah. The main reason why was my coaches. My coaches usually bench me and did that and stuff. And a lot of times it was just, they let them play. The refs just let them beat me up a lot of times, and I didn't finish. It wasn't because they were good enough to stop me, just like at the parks. At the parks, you could there's Alan. He knows the room and then goes against it, right? Reads the room and then goes against it. With me, I read the room and then play accordingly. If you realize, okay, these fuckers, they'll try to hurt you, so you got to kind of like half-ass it, and then make your move when you get the thing. And then at Canto, when there wasn't Paul Bruton or that guy from the Phoenix Suns around, they'd still, once you blew by them, push you into the pole and shit. And so, like when I took that class at Mesa Community College, I just wasn't in the mood. I just didn't want to be there. My mom was dying, and I just was not. I had no motivation, no inspiration to play at all. I got tired of them talking shit about me, and that's when Clinton did his Superman fly thing into me. And Barry Harper was like, "Damn, you're quick." I was like, "Yeah, I'm faster than any of these guys. I'm faster than Aftershaw. I just don't want to play. My mom's dying from cancer. I don't want to be here." It was even hard to go to class. And so it was just, and Barry was like, I get it. That's why I like Barry Harper. He's a good kid. He's from LA, but he was a good kid. And we sat and talked. He was the only one on the team I could talk to, because he was the only one I could relate to. Like me and Punchy, it's all good, And I broke it down to him. He said, and he goes, wow, you know the game, or what is it? And he was like, why did you, because I didn't want you to get in the way and get hurt, and I wanted you to be able to do your thing. So you should have just threw down on me. I didn't feel that I needed to or wanted to. I was like, I got you. He was a good kid, man. We had a good we only talked twice, but they were really good conversations. Yeah. And he was considered, one of the thugs and not a good student and shit like that, right? And so that's why I told you, if I went to NAU and played with Troy Benton and played with Andre Spencer and stuff, that they would have had a completely different team, and there would have been a completely different action and reaction to everything he did. When I played with pompous, shitty, Buffy, I'd take you and pimp you, type guys, I couldn't get through. I couldn't get them to, play as a team. I couldn't get through. When I played with good guys that were unselfish and were, yeah, he's right, like Tony and John and Ray and Charlie, it's like, oh, okay, I could get through to them. And in Cruces, the only two I could get through to was Cedric and Paul, and they were being abused just as bad by Kaufman as me. And at Mayfield, the only ones that I got along with and could talk to were Danny Uronga and Morris Fielder, and both of them rode the bench because they were thugs and for the projects. But Oliver kept him on the team. He didn't play Morris, though, and he barely played Danny, But yeah, they were the only two I could talk to and relate to. I tried to be friends with Francisco Estrada, but he could be such an ass. It was hard to, you try to tell, like when he did that whole, where are you going, Batman? I'm not Batman. You're Batman. I'm Superman. Throw that shit up and when you're ready to get smacked. And I would tell him, dude, you can't stand in the key and pump fake 10 times. You only have 3 seconds. I'm your teammate. I want you to be good. Don't pick up your dribble if you can't get your shot off. He used to piss me off. It's like, I'm trying to make you a better ball player. I'm not trying to talk shit to you and static. Don't start none, won't be none. And I used to tell him that, and his brothers used to laugh at him because he'd say that because he did it to his brothers all the time. Where are you going, Batman? Because they used to do that all the time in the backyard. And with me, because I was so good, I would just go, no, you're Batman. I'm Superman. Throw that shit up when you want me to smack it. And then I would tell him, I don't want you to. Yeah, you can't do this. This isn't basketball. This is backyard dick measuring bullshit. It ain't gonna help you be a better basketball player or a better man. Damn. Like Mark said, in Sierra Vista. God, if I had one friend like you, if I had one little friend like you, I'd have been a better man. I'd been a better person. I wouldn't have ended up in a prison with two Germans trying to cut my throat because I was a half Apache. And I was like, yeah, I think you're right. Where like when the two boys at Three Springs, Julian and the other kid, I can't remember his name. I liked him though. The one who was the dope man, and I broke it down to him. He said, "Damn, Mr. Parsons, you're right. They changed. They put in another legal piece of the money. You're gone, just like on that Traffic movie." He goes, "Shit, damn, I got played." He goes, "Yeah, and you ain't gonna be one of those high-income, high-end lawyers and stuff that runs all the drug dealers because he can launder the funds." Yeah, you're right. When I get out of here, I'll stay away from him. And then they got violated. And when I got there, they were sitting out in the hall and they said, "Mr. Parsons, we wouldn't have got violated if you'd been on the unit." And the other kids from, NSI that worked with me were all sitting there, Mr. Thornton and all them. And I had to lie to them. I'd sit there and go, "That's not true." And they both looked at me, "Mr. Parsons, don't say that shit. You're the OG. You would have protected us. You would have guided us to the wrong Western. You wouldn't want us to get violated. You would sit us down, straighten us out, and make us think before we did, before what happened. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I had to sit there and, I couldn't say it to him because I didn't want to undermine the other guys that would undermine me. And they did anyway. I know. They do it everywhere I go. And they always think they're teaching me something, sharing something with me, and they've got everything figured out because they've been trained by the best. They're a military institution that determines the protection of the galaxy and how to use properly the Green Lanterns. It's like, that's shit you all motherfuckers make up. You and your nano fucking technologies. Even if you invent something, okay, that you can clone and replicate and it can murder everything and murder anything and telepathically manipulate everything, you're still being a piece of shit trying to replace the glory of God with your pathetic ego. And you watch those movies and you're like, he's going to run upside the wall and he's going to fly through space. She's going to go back through the water. She's going to be okay because she's super cool. Oh, well, he thought of everything and left kryptonite in the tunnel. What's your kryptonite? I don't have a kryptonite. No. Everybody thinks it's my kids. That's not my kryptonite. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. I've had people in this town through telepathy tell me they could take the soul that provides life to this body and trap it in a container for 1,000 years the moment they decide to kill me. And I said, yeah, but I would still be better than you. There's fates worse than death, like listening to Michael Aquino and Antoine LaVey monologue. Yes. No, I'm just kidding. It's not true. Because when they took Michelle away, there was no fate worse than Marianne away, and took Justin away. There's no fate worse than that. Feeling the loss of somebody that was given a body for the soul by the glory of God and taken away from us by the monologues of the Antoine LaVey's and Michael Aquinos of this world and the nanotechnology, nano, 2006 pickup sticks. Everybody learn how to do yoga and suck your cowboy Wayne dicks. Fuck! Thank you. They're coming to America today, my country, 'tis a thee. Today, sweet land of liberty. Liberty what? We're not living the Lord's Prayer. Okay? You can talk about liberty, but you're not living the Lord's Prayer. This world is going to glow up, go up in flames, zoom, 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 zoom. It doesn't say that in the Bible. It doesn't say that in the Abrahamic Bible. If it does say that in the Abrahamic Bible, it's because the CIA took it and rewrote it. I and I, Haile Selassie, are one. I and I will see you through. Because every day we pay the price of how to live and sacrifice. And we're jamming till the jam is through. We're jamming. That's my cousin. Proud to say. Marley's and Parsons are cousins. Yeah, I'm always proud to tell people that. That's my cousin. That is my cousin. And, guys, most of my family has a lot of actions and thoughts and had those actions and thoughts that are similar to Bob's kids, okay? that were born before me. The Messiah is unique. He's exceptional. Okay. There was only one Jesus Christ. There was only one Muhammad of Mecca. There was only one Haile Selassie. Right. There was only one Jiddu Krishnamurti. There was only one Krishna. Only one Siddhartha. There was only one Confucius. Only one Tao. Only one Sun Yat-sen. Right. The Messiah is unique and he is exceptional. Okay. The kindness of the swordsman in Japan is what makes him the legend of protection through faithful love. Wakarimasu. Hi. Right? Don't watch James Clavell's Shogun. That's a bunch of egomaniacs trying to engineer their way into the legacy of perfection and beauty and kindness of love as the Japanese Tolkiens and Lewises. Okay? It's my birthday, said give it to me, Smeagol's and Deagles and Deagles and Smeagol's. I fell into a burning ring of fire, went down, 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 and the flames ran higher, and it burned, 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 a ring of fire, ring of fire. Anna's one of the cutest little girls I've ever seen, and it was a nice connection in prayer. She's absolutely adorable. Suzuki, I'm not too sure if she'd be able to have the same adoration for me that I would have for her. Wow, you're really cute. You want to live the Lord's Prayer? Oh, this is really nice. I'm not too sure about that, Ditiro, but thanks for asking. Thanks for trying. Trying to be my wingman. You're a lot like Patrick with the two blonde girls at the MU. He's the best. Yeah, that's so funny. Dad, how come your penis is large and hairy and mine is small and not? First of all, you're giving Dad way too much credit. Okay. Because you're going to pass up Dad before you get out of elementary school. And the one black girl, the really, really cute one, she's laughing and going, these guys are great. The little Mormon girls, I can't believe they're talking about this. And yeah, it's like, when a kid is curious and asks you a question and it's natural and it's normal and it's about us, you don't sit there and go, you little pervert. You ask it, you deal with it in a mature, rational, you go all on Adam Sandler and Big Daddy, get the kid a Happy Meal, right? You know what I mean? And so you do that. And the girl thought we were great. He was hooking me up. She was one of the hottest blondes I've ever seen, and she was so cool. Amanda didn't have nothing on her. Y'all quieting down on there. She was gorgeous. She was sweet. She was kind. What? Dad's just stupid. Shut up, Pat. No, he's right. Dad is just stupid. She was one, oh gosh. Yeah, but it wouldn't have worked. Because Mathilde... I wouldn't take her and sandwich her between two Buddhist midget monks and Hansel, okay? And, it wouldn't have been able to happen. Why? Because they weren't going to allow it to happen. I always have to explain that to Amy. It wasn't going to be allowed to happen. We couldn't have had our happy place. Okay? Because Shooter McGavin eats pieces of shit like us for breakfast. You eat shit for breakfast? Right. And so they're going to take over the world because they have nanotechnologies and they're geniuses and they always outthink their competition because they don't trust anybody. That's how they stay ahead. Oh, fuck. We Navy SEAL suck again. Arr, 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 arr. Put the ball on your nose. Can you spin it? You're part of the Globetrotters. Ay vey. Okay, guys, I love you very much. I'm not making fun of the Globetrotters. I'm making fun of Navy SEALs that are dumbasses and do as they're told because they don't trust anybody, and that's how they get ahead. How do you get ahead of life? You don't. Truth's omnipotent, and life is eternal, grace is infinite. Ándale pues. There you go. Okay. Smart brains. Okay, guys, love you.